y'all, we are 9 weeks from last frost date, so I want to talk about some things that I'm planting this weekend, and also I've got a chicken by my feet, and also some medicinal herbs that I'm going to be incorporating into the garden. So let's go ahead and get started. What are you doing? You being sneaky chickens. I'm going to start some rosemary, Kamatsuna Old Tokyo. I got that as a freebie from Baker Creek, and it's kind of like a spinach and a mustard green type flavor, somewhere in between that. So I'm going to be doing those, and I'm putting those on the wet paper towels. Some cayenne pepper. That's going to be a medicinal one. Bee balm. I'm doing 2 different bee balms, the bergamot and the lemon bee balm, and those are also going to be not only to bring in pollinators, but also they're medicinal. Some St. John's wort, that's medicinal. I need to add that to my list. It keeps growing. I've got the yellow drumsticks, and I've already got the zinnias done. And I'm going to do the love in a mist. I was going to do that last weekend, but they got mixed in with the following week's seeds, so I went ahead and started those. And lots of sweet peas. Now, whenever you grow sweet peas, and I'll talk about this probably a little later as well, they like it cooler weather. So after they come out of the seeds in these damp paper towels and these Ziploc bags, I am going to plant those out in the unheated sunroom, and I'm not going to bring those in if it gets cold, because they like the cold. It's okay. They can tolerate down to, I think, 25. So the sweet peas will also do better if they got a little bit of a cold snap on them. And some lemon balm. That's going to be a medicinal herb I'm growing. Let's take a look at some of these. I feel like I'm too far away. This is the cayenne peppers. Now, cayenne pepper, you can make that into a salve. I'm going to also dry it out for crushed red pepper flakes for meals when we're cooking. Get back, Morticia. But I'm also going to use some of this in a salve, because it brings a little bit of a heat into a salve for whenever you have muscle and joint pain or injuries, sprains, things like that. You can put some of that salve. When I say a salve, you dry out your herb until it's crispy dry, and then you mix it with your carrier oil of choice, and I prefer to get an oil that has a long shelf life. So some people use grapeseed oil or olive oil, and then you can put a little bit of vitamin E. You can crack open a vitamin E capsule and put it in there, and it will help elongate the life of that salve. And then you let that sit for about a month. After that, then you can infuse 1 cup of that infused oil with 1 ounce of beeswax. Some people can combine both beeswax and a butter, so you can do that, but I'm just going to use beeswax in my salves. But that's one thing I'm going to add to salves. Some asters. This was a freebie. It has 100 days to flower. So since we're 9 weeks away from the last spring frost, I'm going to go ahead and start those now. I've never grown these before. I'm just going to do a few to see if I like them or not. Dropping seeds. Here's the rosemary that I just started this weekend. Rosemary, it does have a medicinal benefit. Acne, pain relief, mood, sleep. So those are some things that you can use rosemary for. Let's see, borage, that's direct sow. Now, this also has, I'm not going to do this one just yet, but it also has a medicinal property. Got that from Baker Creek. It can be used as a sedative, like to help you sleep at night. Lung inflammation, if you're sick, you can make this into like a medicine, a tincture. Some people will soak the dried up stuff into not rubbing alcohol, but into like actual real vodka, and make a tincture out of it and just take drops, or I don't want to tell you, I'm not a doctor, but you can look it up what you would need to take, but that's borage. Colds, bronchitis, you can use it for that as well. And my Love on a Mist that I just started, those were already showed last week. Those are so pretty. They're very pretty as a dried flower. Sweet peas. Look how pretty they are. These, I chose sweet peas that were anywhere from 2.5 feet tall to 6 feet tall. That way, if I put one by the other and just stagger them when I'm planting them, I'll have different heights of flowers, and they'll be flowering all the way up 6 feet tall. So that was the purpose of getting different heights. You can look on the back of your packet and see how tall these get. Again, those will stay outside, and they do not like their roots disturbed, so I'm going to be planting those in taller cups instead of the little seedling trays. So they'll be put in plastic solo cups, so their roots will have more room to grow. Okay. Calendula. This is medicinal as well as pretty. It is like in the marigold family, but don't use marigolds if you're going to do this for an herbal purpose. Calendula, let's see. You can put this in a salve for skin softening, healing of wounds and inflammation. You can also use it for virus and bacteria. So it probably can be done into a tincture as well as a salve. And also menstrual cramps. So that's what you can grow. Calendula. And it's a pretty flower. I'm going to be growing feverfew. I'm not going to start this yet. I'm probably going to start this maybe 5 or 6 weeks before last frost date. So feverfew is just exactly as it says. It's for fever and headache. So if you're sick, things like that, some people might take feverfew. You can do it in a tincture. Chamomile, same thing. It also is a sedative type thing that you can ingest to help you sleep at night. And thyme. I'll be starting that in a few weeks. Thyme, let's see, I don't want to leave anything out that these things do. Cough and cold relief. And I've heard various people say that you can take this 3 times a day if you're just putting like a teaspoon of it on a meal 3 times a day, or if you want to make it as a tea, or just chew it up and swallow it whole, or whatever. They say that helps with colds. So that's like a natural cold fighting herb to grow, as well as flavor your food. And let's go down the ones that I haven't discussed yet. I've got a growing list. Holy basil. That is an herb you can grow for anxiety, stress, depression. It helps with immunity, blood sugar, bacterial and viral infections, wound healing and inflammation. So you can take it and use it in a salve. We've already talked about the cayenne peppers. Lemon balm I just started last week. That can be used for stress, anxiety, sleep, indigestion, bug bites, and stings. So that lemon balm can be ingested as a tincture as well as used as a salve. Comfrey and plantain. I'm getting comfrey seeds. I ordered some online, and then I can forage for plantain whenever I'm out in the yard. If I see any growing, it's those big huge leaves that grow up out of the ground. It's like a big bunch. You can Google what plantain looks like, or comfrey. Both of them are weeds, considered weeds. You can, if you don't have it in your yard, look in your neighbor's yard. When you're taking a walk up your holler, you might find some alongside the road. So comfrey and plantain. is good for, that's like the main salve making thing that a lot of herbalists use, and that's for muscle pain, wound healing, bug bites. It pretty much does everything. You just dry, like I said with the salve, you dry those up for, it might take a week or two. I don't like to dry them up in the oven because or the microwave, I don't want to burn it. Just let them air dry, and then soak them in your oil of choice with some vitamin E oil, like a vitamin E capsule, and let that soak for a month, and then mix it in with your beeswax to make your salve. Yarrow, I started some of that a few weeks ago. It's not only a flower, but it's good for blood clotting. If you're bleeding, you put some yarrow on there to stop the bleeding. Menstrual cramps, fever, and toothache. So it can be put on, in your gums. It could be taken probably for fever and menstrual cramps, and put on you for a bleeding wound, like a small cut or something like that, to help stop bleeding. Common mullein is also a big one. It's a perennial. The first year it grows up like leafy, and the second year it shoots up that big stem that has yellow flowers up it. It's called common mullein. It's for cough, bronchitis, colds, flu, allergies, earache, sore throat, colic in babies, joint pain, gout, diaper rash, mucus clearing. This is one that some people will dry up and smoke, or inhale the smoke from it if you're burning it, to if you have like a really deep bronchial type cough, to help loosen that up. So that's common mullein's a big one in the herbal field. Marshmallow, it's a pretty flower, pink flower, or pinkish whitish flowers, and that's good for coughs, colds, Crohn's disease, and skin inflammation. So that can be internally or applied to the skin. I'm going to do some Vulgari oregano when it comes in. I ordered some seeds, and that's for coughs, wound healing, and parasite infections. So that might be something, I'd have to look to see if I could give that to animals to help, like if they have parasites, worms, or whatever. I'm going to look into that a little bit more. Or maybe you can ingest it for yourself for, I don't know, if you got worms. We've already talked about calendula flowers and thyme. Dandelion flowers in spring, those are getting ready to come up. You can use those as into an oil or a salve for skin inflammation, cell growth in your skin, acne. Lilacs, I've already started those on seeds and wet paper towels in the fridge, and with those, they're hard to start. You got to put them on a wet paper towel in the fridge for a month, and then before you try to get them to germinate, they need that cold stratification. But lilacs are an antifungal, an antibacterial. It's used for acne, skin astringent, and skin toner. So that can be made into, probably mixed in like witch hazel, I would say, to apply to the skin, put it into like a vodka tincture type thing, and put it on your face to clear up your skin. Nettle, that's a weed that's out right now with the purple flowers. I've actually picked some the other day. I got drying on the counter, and you can make that into a salve for bug bites and stings. You can also, jewelweed, it's got those little popper flowers on it. That's good to make into a salve for poison ivy or a poison oak rash. So if you're out and you rub into poison ivy, you can, if you see jewelweed, you can rub that over your skin right then and there, and it will help. It has something in it that breaks down that poison ivy and that poison oak stuff, so it doesn't spread all over your skin. So bee balm, I've started, I think I did have bee balm in here. Yeah, I do. I started bee balm this week, and that's good for colds, bronchitis, sore throat, UTIs, and fevers. So that can be made into a tincture that you can take. And it's a pretty flower that attracts pollinators. Borage, I haven't started that yet, but I will be in a few weeks, and that's a sedative to help you, kind of like you would drink chamomile tea at night. It's kind of the same thing. It's also used for lung inflammation, colds, and bronchitis. So, and then finally, St. John's wort. that one, that's good for ADHD, menopausal symptoms, depression. It's mood lifting, you know, from anxiety, things like that. So that is a list of the herbs that I'm going to be growing this year in this year's garden, in addition to my everything else. So the garden is not going to be one specific, you know, type stuff. It's going to be fruits from my fruit trees, vegetables from the vegetable garden, herbs that I'm going to be growing for medicinal purposes, and homeopathic type stuff, and also flowers for the beauty, and some of the flowers are also medicinal herbs. So that's where we're staying right now. But if you have any questions, post them below, or anything you want to add, give me advice. If you have any other herbs that you know about, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.